Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to tell you a little bit about my story. I could tell you that I am my mother's daughter, but that's not just who I am. I could tell you that I am my brother's sister, but even that's not who I am. I can tell you that I am my best friend's best friend, but then again, that's not all that I am. I am a child of the Most High God. I am also a survivor of 3 failed attempts of suicide that began when I was 8 years old. And you might ask, what would make a child of that age even think about suicide? What could possibly be that devastating in a child's life to make them want to take their own life away? For a child of that age, all they know is right now. For them, every day is right now. For them, every day that they have to deal with the loneliness and the pain and the fear and the humiliation of being bullied by their peers and even their teachers, hope seems to die. And for me, I entered into elementary school with low self-esteem already due to a traumatic experience I dealt with when I was 4 years old. And entering into elementary, it just made another weight on me because I was always dealing with the problem of self-worthlessness, feeling that I'm not good enough, feeling like because of what happened to me, I'm already little, I'm nothing. But to have kids pick on you, tell you that you're too dark or too ugly to play with, and that everybody hates you, it made it worse. And for the fact that I stayed in class and the teachers were watching the whole time, if not cheering other kids on while they did this to me. And for the fact that my mom went to every single teacher, the principal, the administrator, and all they told her was that kids will be kids, just suck it up, grow a spine. My first thoughts were, okay, maybe it's me. What did I do? And it just made it worse because now that the teachers and the principals knew, other kids were hearing that, hey, she's a tattletale. Let's make things worse for her. So they just kept on doing more and more things. I remember sitting in classroom, and one kid, he walks up to my desk. I spent 30 minutes doing a class assignment, 30 minutes. He walks up to my desk, grabs my paper, crumble it, and throw it in a trash can. And I was deliberately tripped by students. In fact, I was tripped and sent to a hospital. And all the kids were doing in the background was just laughing. And I remember kids singing songs about me. Just some of them, I'm not going to lie. Only things that they were saying had to have been learned behavior because some of those things were just not good enough for a kid to be saying. But all of this was under the eye of the teacher. They knew it. And when you're dealing with this and going through it and people are telling you, hey, you know, suck it up, do what you got to do. It's just school. It's just a phase is what I've been growing up hearing all the time. It's just a phase. It's just a phase. But I was getting tired of it. I literally felt that there was no way out. And for the fact that I was stuck in a school and my mom was paying tuition. This was a private school, an all-black private school in one of the biggest churches in Huntsville, Alabama. And my mom just had enough. She just pulled me out before the term ended, and we searched for another school. And she put me in another private school, which was predominantly white. I'm not going to lie, I was treated like gold there. No one messed with me. No one caused any trouble. But the damage was already done, and my mom realized that. So I stayed at that school for the rest of that semester, and my mom just pulled me out and started homeschooling me. And in my mind, I was already saying, look, this is it. I'm tired. So what I did, I was little, I was 8 years old. I just grabbed whatever my mom had in medicine places, and I just started scarfing them down, taking them, and just wanting to go to sleep and not wake up. And when that wouldn't work, I just started making myself sick. And the stress made me sick, but even the mention of school, I started getting sick. So my mom homeschooled me until I was ready to go to high school. I thought, hey, okay, I'm doing good. I've been doing good. My grades are good. And then we move, and I end up going to a public high school, which is a culture shock from a private high school, but nonetheless. But when I was in high school, I thought, okay, this could probably be a little better. But then again, I was entering in, I'm not gonna lie, I was battling with my weight, and my skin wasn't that great, but those are normal phases that kids go through. And you think, okay, if everybody's dealing with their problem, maybe they'll not pick on me because they may be dealing with the problem too. But I don't know how it happened or how it came about or how it escalated, but I found myself as a target of bullying again everywhere I went. And it got to a point where I'm just like, okay, what's wrong with me? And then I think the most humiliating part in high school that I had to deal with was a bus incident. I was on a bus and happened to share the bus with one of the most popular girls in that school. She had the whole bus to get together and make earthquake effects as if I'm walking down the aisle getting off the bus like I was shaking the world. Imagine the whole bus doing that, and you're the one that's walking down the hallway. What are you supposed to feel? And I know when I was walking down that hall, everything seemed to have gone slow motion. It was like I was walking into a path where I knew that at the end of the path was going to be death. So as soon as I got off the bus that day, I went into the house, pulled out a stash of my medicines, and I was already going to the doctor for certain treatments that was cause for stress and problems. They just kept prescribing me medicines all over the place. But I pulled out everything that I knew that was going to make me go to sleep. And I will tell you, I know that I took enough to die. I took everything. And I laid down in the bed, and I was ready. I was fixed on going. I was like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen at this other end, but I'm ready. So I lay down, and I feel myself start to slip out of consciousness. And just when I'm almost under, all of a sudden I feel this jolt in my body. And it felt as if someone had kicked me in the gut really, really hard. And everything I had taken, I threw it up. And at that point, I was mad. I was like, God, why? Why did you stop this? Why did you do this? And it's as if he was in the room right with me. He said, no. You know, my thoughts are, no what? No, I have to see another day, put up another day with kids telling me that I'm too fat, or just making fun of me. It just get old. So I was upset, and then it's as if a breath of fresh air just poured into me. And I was crying and I was screaming, and all of a sudden, calmness came over. And I knew that it was God. And at that point, I was telling myself, okay, God, I don't know what's at this end of this road. I don't know. But you have to show me, because I can't put up with this anymore. And sure enough, my mom came home, and she found out that I had done that stuff. And when I saw her reaction to me doing it, she started crying, and I started crying. But I was crying because she was crying. I didn't know it was going to tear her up that bad. But I realized that that would have been a complete mistake for me doing that. And she called my brother, she called my grandmother at the time, and they were all freaking out and they were upset. And I was just like, okay, God, I realize I have people here that are going to love me and that do love me and don't want me to die. But, excuse me, it was hard. And my mom,
just wrapped me in her arms, and we fell asleep. If it wasn't for that woman right there to keep me and pull me out, I would have been gone. And I tried again, tried again, until she finally said, look, this is enough. I am not losing my baby. This is not the natural way of life. I will not bury my child. My child is going to bury me. And that's when I started realizing that, hey, God has something planned for me. I don't know what it is. I didn't really realize what he had planned for me until after I graduated from high school. And I realized, my mom told me, you know what, baby, 4 years from now, you're not even going to remember these people. Well, a little bit of that was true. But you always remember the main ones, the ones that hurt you the most. But I run into them ever so often. And my thoughts are, when I run into them, like, I sit there and stare at them for a minute, and they're like, okay, what is she saying? And I'm in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, I tried to kill myself over you? But, yeah. But, yeah. It's a long road, and people say that time heals all wounds. It's not always true. Time is, it only heals if you're sharing your story with others and getting through it yourself, talking to people who love you to help you go through it. But knowing that someone cares about you, and knowing, I mean, I was blessed to have a second chance. Had God not kicked me in the stomach, I know he kicked me in the stomach, but had he not done that, I would not have been here. And I can say, from my experiences right now, I have experienced so much. I mean, I've been to New York, and I went to acting school. I was accepted in an academy. They only accept only a few of us a year, and I was only 3 of the African-American females, so that was an experience. And right now, I am working on my first book. It's called Waging War, and it will be out soon. But, yeah. It's pretty much an experience of what I went through. And it's more along the lines of how I wish things had gone, or what my spirit probably would have been had I not let the people get to me. But, other than that, God has blessed me in so many ways. I've seen so many things, studied under so many people with wisdom that is beyond anything I can understand. But I am blessed and highly favored, and I know I am. And I'd like to thank you for listening, and I hope my experience and my story can help someone else. Give them a second chance. Thank you.
Give it up for her one more time. That was awesome testimony.